Good evening. Welcome to This is America here on the Cultural Network. You are joined here by the lovely Sister Laquila Chantel and myself. I am Minister Chris Johnson. Thank you so much for joining us at this late hour. We were experiencing some technical difficulties, but we want to thank all of our viewing audience on all of our social media platforms across the world who have been waiting on us. On tonight, we have some very interesting topics that we're going to be talking about in the area of civil rights, social justice, and community awareness. In our first segment, we'll be talking with Miss Chantel about her nephew who we reported out on several weeks ago. This was a young man in Mississippi who was accosted and assaulted by another teenager. We're going to give updates on that. And then in the second half of our discussion on tonight in This is America, we'll be talking about conservative activist and commentator Charlie Kirk. We'll be talking about his assassinations, the implications for our country as a whole, and what it means specifically, if anything, for Black America. And so we'll have a very, very interesting and lively discussion here on this evening. But first, we want to turn our attention to Ms. Laquila Chantel. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Doing well, doing well.
Uh,
Let's absolutely. Let's talk about your nephew, who we reported out on several weeks ago here on the
uh,
Culture Commission platform and podcast. Just for a few brief minutes, will you give us some information about your nephew for those who may not be aware of his story?
all right. First of all, thank you guys for tuning in. My name is Laquila Chantel, and as he stated, my nephew, Jerian Cox, who lives in Columbus, Mississippi, Lowndes County, it's the county. He's 13 years old, and he was lured out of his home by a 16-year-old white boy with the intent to do bodily harm. So he lured him out as if he was trying to sell him something. He get him outside. He raises a gun to him. Chanting all these have him doing racial slurs and having him doing all these antics like jumping jacks. He assaulted him with the gun. He called him the N word. It was just a lot. If you see the video, probably will play. I'm not really sure, but if you guys see the video, you can kind of see what went down. But he basically dehumanized him with his own phone, recorded it, posted it video on Facebook himself, and currently the charges are not matching what the charges would match if the kid was black behind the gun. And so I do understand they both are mountains, but once you do a felony act, that's adult range. And so we're currently in a fight now trying to get that the equality and justice with that. And my nephew, he's still dealing with it. He's still has moments, where he feel like he should have tried to fight back or try, but he's only 13. He's a kid. It's 3 in the morning, 2, 3 in the morning, and so he did not know this child is a well-known menace, a history of menace acts. He's done this so many times that he's completely comfortable with coming to private property and doing this, not knowing what type of family he would encounter, or who he would encounter. So it just goes to show the limits that the unlimited access that this child has with weapons, the exposure that he has with racism, and just all these things. It is been confirmed that he's his in the family member of a KKK member. That is a big deal in Mississippi, and they are trying to their best to minimize the hit from the blow that he did, publicly. They want to try to make it, you know, they want to try to make, it go away. I'll just say that. But other than that, we're here. We're still fighting for justice. We are hoping to put together another protest, and we're gonna see how it go from there. But if you guys look at the movement is called "We Will Be Heard," the Jerian Cox story, and then all you have to do is hashtag "We Will Be Heard," or look for my name, Laquila Chantel, and you will find a lot of more information. Back to you, Chris, Dr.
Now,
Johnson.
I want to thank you, Sister Laquila, for that recap, and I want to go over the timeline because again, we first reported out on this story here on the Culture Network, here on this show. This is America, which is powered by the
Yeah.
Culture Network.
Hmm.
And so local reports indicated that a teenager who you just identified was arrested after allegedly threatening, we now know threatening and then hitting your nephew, who is a minor, with a gun while recording a
Hmm.
video. Now, that video amassed initially more than 63,000 views on social media
Yeah.
since it had been posted at that time, which was Sunday. And I understand that this initial incident allegedly occurred late July, early August, correct?
Absolutely correct. Hmm.
And so since then, it has amassed literally hundreds of thousands
Hmm.
of views. I'd like to show that video. We would
Nah,
like
back
to
your ass,
indicate.
back your. Do
I'd
some
like
jumping
to
jacks, nigga.
indicate for our
Do some. I'ma
audience
pop
we
your.
are showing this video unedited, and so viewer discretion is advised.
Nah, back your ass or back your. Do some jumping jacks, nigga. Do some. I'ma pop your ass. Man, do some jumping jacks, bitch. Do some jumping jacks, bitch. Oh yeah. Hey, now say sorry for talking to my bitch. Say fuck Chloe, nigga. Yeah, alright, bitch. Walk your ass home. I'll pistol whip your hoe ass. Walk your ass home, nigga. Run home, bitch. Don't ever talk to my bitch again, cause next time I'ma kill your hoe ass, bitch. Yo.
Wow. After this video was posted, Sheriff Eddie Hawkins said that the teenager was arrested the same day after parents and or family saw the video online and then brought it to his attention. He said that this young man was then charged with a misdemeanor simple assault and
Hmm.
then issued a delinquent charge for being a minor in possession of a weapon. Now, this report comes to us by way of the Dispatch, which
Hmm.
is a local news affiliate there in Lowe's County,
Like.
Mississippi.
Hmm.
Talk about that a little bit in terms of what we just saw and why what we saw in your mind uh, is not supported by the charges that were filed.
I mean, we can start with coming on private property. You could start there. That's the first. That's a charge right there in itself. Um, Texting, sending explicit video footage of himself and the young lady that he's speaking of in the video. You guys, she's only 13 as well. Now keep in mind that this white boy is finna be 17. If he, I think he already turned 17. Now, he has been having, relations with this young girl, and he has been recording these relations, and he was sending them to every guy, including my nephew, that he thought was trying to talk with her. So it's way bigger. The charges that he have is way bigger. Because from my understanding, the word that I got received from some inside people was that they have enough to put him away just off of that situation alone. But what you saw in the video, you saw aggravated assault with the attempt to do bodily harm.
Correct.
No matter what the age was, because let's be clear. I have family members that's doing time that did time at the age of 12 and 13 for stealing bubble gum out of a store. So I have a brother right now who has been locked up since he was probably 20, got 30 plus years with no weapon involved. So it just it's not matching. We have several stories. I have had several parents and people reach out to me and pour out their stories about, hey, I was convicted at 13, they gave me this amount of years, they charged me as an adult immediately. So we know that they have the power to do so. It's just the fact that this child, this menace, is just so happened to be a member of a family member of the KKK, and
Sure.
we all know that they're going to protect their own. They're going to do whatever they can to try to wash it away. I see them. They're watching my stories. They're watching my page. All of the family members. I keep everything public because I want to watch. I want to see when your name pop up, so I know that you guys are watching. I know that you know what's going on. The video has reached over 200 some odd thousand. The shares is crazy. It's still climbing. So the story may seem like it's dulling down, but we're just really warming up. We
Sure.
wanted to give them opportunity to do the right thing, to bring the right charges. But as of now, we don't even know if the young man is still incarcerated at the juvenile. We do know that they don't have him in the county he's supposed to be in, which is Lowndes County Juvenile Detention Center. He's not there. So you want to protect him and hide him. in a whole nother place, but you didn't have no protection for my nephew. You didn't have protection for the other young black boys that he did the same way. You didn't have protection for this little girl, Chloe, who mama begged you guys to keep him away from her child, who mom also pressed charges as well. You get what I'm saying? So this boy has been doing this stuff his out of his from the mouth of his own mom and from her social media. My child has done these things before. My child needs help. This is a parent who knew her child needed help, but you gave your child exposure to guns. You gave your child exposure to drugs or whatever it is, because you clearly got to be out your mind. You
Sure.
get what I'm saying? To carry on like this and to be bold. But like I tell everybody, the mistake that he made was he did not know the family that this young boy was, my nephew was connected to. And then when that came out, that's what all the protection. You see how they trying to protect him? Because in Mississippi, in Lowndes County, my family is one of the largest families in the county. So they know how my family is. You get what I'm saying? So in their mind, they was expecting us to go, you get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
War.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
everybody was trying to reach out to me because they know I am like the common ground before anything's go crazy, you know? And so immediately as an auntie, I'm not gonna lie, I was ready for war. I was like, oh yeah, we finna take it there. Like we finna.
Absolutely.
And then, but me being a woman of God, I was like, ooh, Quila,
Yeah.
you can't do it.
So Sister Laquila, we're having questions
Eddie
coming in
Hawkins
from
is
our
the
text
sheriff
our
name.
text to chat.
Okay.
First question, we know that there have been some advocating there in the city that you all have been
Mhm.
doing. First question that has come in is, when is the next rally?
Well, we haven't set a date because I know we have been in converse with you guys, and I didn't want to set a date that you guys would not be able to make it. So I have been on the hush hush because I wasn't sure how we was gonna navigate it because I didn't want to leave anybody out, and I did also want to make sure that we get a date that we can get enough ammunition behind us when we coming, get enough fire going so that we bring out the people. We bring the people from out of state, because what Mississippi hates, they hate other people coming in their state telling them what to do. They
Right,
hate it.
right,
They
right.
don't like
So let's go back to the video. Talk
it.
about a little bit about the video, because we just got a question
Her,
in. The
nah,
video
back your
depicts.
ass up, back your,
Hmm.
do some jumping jacks, nigga. I'ma pop your ass. Man, do some jumping jacks, bitch. Do some jumping jacks, bitch. Oh yeah. Hey, now say sorry for talking to my bitch. Say fuck Chloe, nigga.
If you guys,
Yeah,
okay.
alright, bitch, walk your ass home. I'll pistol whip your hoe ass. Walk your ass home, nigga. Run home, bitch. Don't ever talk to my bitch again, cause next time I'ma kill your hoe ass, bitch. Yo.
So just imagine that,
Yeah. Uh,
Imagine.
for those who are just tuning in with us, you're joining us on This Is America.
Hmm.
Thank you for joining This Is America, which is powered by the Culture Network. Here on the Culture Network, you are joined by host Sister Laquila, with us, Chantel,
Hmm.
and I am Minister Chris Johnson. What you just saw was a video that depicted a white teenage male threatening a black teenage male with a handgun.
Hmm.
Throughout the video, the suspect points the gun at the victim, accusing him of talking to his girl while using racial slurs,
Hmm.
and then forcing him to perform jumping jacks at gunpoint. The suspect then appears to hit the victim on the head with the barrel of the gun before ordering him to run home.
Hmm.
That victim is the nephew of our co-host, Sister Laquila Chantel, and so she is here with us, and we are joining her in terms of just reporting out and then advocating on this. We want to thank Teresa Robinson for her comment. She says that she knows Robin, the Culture Commission, is going to invade the city, and she's with us. Thank you, Sister
Thank
Teresa,
you.
for being with us and joining us,
Mhm.
not just in activism, but joining us also in prayer and
Right.
solidarity.
Yeah.
Let's go back to you, Sister Laquila. Let's talk next steps. First, can you give us the name of the sheriff
Yeah.
there and where he's located, for our viewing audience, so that they can call, petition,
Yes.
and voice their concern to this particular sheriff?
Okay. So his name is Eddie Hawkins, and that's EDDIEHAWKINS. He is the Lowndes County, Mississippi He's over the Loudoun County, Mississippi Sheriff Department. Right now, they do have all contacts from my family blocked, so my sister can't call. They have, I guess, turned the email thing. Oh, it's just they don't want to speak with us at all. So we are not in communication with them because they have blocked every avenue of communication from my sister as she requests to have more information, more updates, what's going on. So we are have been shown out, like, so we're kind of in the dark. We're having to rely on, street information, people that we know in the city, people that we kind of know that's, working in inside some places. We have connections as well. So we are getting bits and pieces of information, but it's going to be a fight, you guys. We know what we are up against. We know it's not going to be easy, but what I do know is that when we come together and we stand together, we are unstoppable. And I think we are in a state of a state right now in just the entire world in general where the racism is really unfolding like never before. We are witnessing every day a new story that's just continuing to depict things from 300, 200 years ago, in a sense where it's celebrated. So I feel like every story that we hear, even my nephew's story, the story of the young man being hung, the story of, Charlie Kirk, and I know you said we're going, all those stories, it's beginning to boil over. And I need black people to get mad. I need black people to understand that this is our fight. Not a no, but we don't need nobody else to, this our fight. And the problem with it is, like I was telling the people in Columbus, is want y'all to come out for the fight, but you never show up for the war. We are at war. We are at war for our people. We are at war for our ancestors. We are at war for the future. We are at war right now for life. And if we don't show up and come out together at these protests, when things are going on in your community, I don't care if you got to fly 500 miles, 600 miles. We need to show up for each other, because what happened is you leave a mom out there broken who's saying, I'm black, I love my black people, but my black people don't show up for me. You leave a father out there broken, incarcerated, who could possibly be innocent. But because I don't have the money, I don't have nobody to show up to fight for me. We have got to start advocating for ourselves. Stop putting the needs, the wants, and the things we want people. We got to start taking. We've waited long enough. It's time out for, oh, we just gonna sit back and see. Baby, you can't sit in those chair and keep your hands folded. We got to get active. We got to fight. And I'm willing to fight. And I tell anybody, if I gotta go by myself, I'll go. That's what the song said. I'll go if I have to go by myself. That's the type of time I'm on. And I hope that everybody else can get on that type of time.
Sure, absolutely. As we come to a close on this update, and I want to thank you, Sister Laquila, because I know, even though you are a co-host with us here on this show, we want to make sure that we keep our viewing audience and keep our brothers and sisters aware and abreast of this particular
Yeah.
story. Um, this young man was taken to the Laos County Juvenile Detention Center. The case was handed. Oh well, the case initially was to be handled in youth court. We're waiting on developments now in terms of it being upgraded to adult charges. One of the questions that we're getting from in text and from our viewing audience is when they will possibly hear from your nephew. And we know that because he is a minor, we want to make sure we protect his identity, and more importantly, protect his physical and emotional well-being. But hopefully we'll get an opportunity to speak with his mother or
And then
someone,
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. All that's can definitely be set up. We also did the protest. He tried to speak at the protest, but he broke down. So I'm not
sure,
sure if you guys are not following me, you can go follow me. All the videos are still there from the protest. You can see the moment I brought him on. And I asked him what he felt like. I said, Jerron, what did you feel like in that moment? And he said, what I feel like twisting his hair, what I feel like in that moment, I felt, and he broke. So it's really hard for him to relive that. But like
Sure,
I told him, Jeriah, unfortunately, God chose you for this. It may be an ugly way to be chosen,
sure.
but you were chosen. And you have to stop looking at the situation like this happened to me. This happened for you. This happened for other black young boys that's going to be put in this position. This had to happen because the attention, the light needs to be brought on to this state, to this county, the corruption, the injustice, the inequality, all those things that's been going on and been covered up for years. Unfortunately, God has selected and handpicked you for this journey. And I just feel like, that's what we are. He's aware. I talked to him last night. I'm on him 24/7. Um, so he knows what's ahead. He know, and he's ready. And I'll definitely bring him on. I'll try to get him on actually on the next show. I'll try to get him and my sister on. Um, yeah, we'll get him on. Even if we can just get him on voice, we can get him on because I know they don't really like camera, but you know.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, we want to make sure that both, your family, and especially your sister and your nephew,
Hmm.
and really the entire county, entire city of Lowe's County,
Loud.
Mississippi, knows that
Hmm.
Lowndes County, excuse me,
Yeah. Mhm.
know that they are in our prayers, and that ultimately what we want, is fairness
Yeah.
and equity,
It's simple.
and respect and
It's,
a high quality of life for everyone.
it's so simple.
Everyone is deserving of the same type of quality of life that's afforded to them in the American dream. And so we want to make sure, sister, that you and your family understand that we support you,
Appreciate
and that we're going to continue to advocate with you and on side of you. And so thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. But now let's shift our attention and our conversation to some news and public affair matters that have been going on nationally. Of course, there have been many trending stories over the last several days or so, but none has trended more than conservative activist Charlie Kirk, who was
Mm-hmm.
assassinated
Joy
at
Reid
Utah
and Michelle
University
Obama and Sheila
last
Jackson
week. Charlie Kirk was a conservative activist
Brown
and
Jackson were
close
affirmative
ally of President Donald Trump. And he also played an influential role in rallying young Republican voters to vote for President Trump. Well, he was shot and killed, unfortunately, last Wednesday at a Utah college event, in what the governor called a political assassination carried out from a rooftop. In speaking about this assassination, Utah Governor Spencer Cox said that this was a dark day for their state and that it was a tragic day for our nation. He wanted to be very clear in his words, according to the AP News, that this was a political assassination. Now, late into last week, there was no there was no suspect in custody, although authorities were looking for a person of interest. However, on Friday, authorities broke the news that they were close and had closed in and had apprehended a suspect who was later identified as 22-year-old Tyler Robinson. Videos posted to social media from Utah Valley University show Kirk speaking into a handheld microphone while sitting under a white tent emblazoned with the slogans, "The American Comeback" and "Prove Me Wrong." A single shot rung out, and Kirk can be seen reaching up with his right hand to grab the left side of his neck, unfortunately, where he was shot. Stunned spectators can be heard gasping and screaming as they ran for cover. The Associated Press was able to confirm that the videos were taken at the Sorensen Center courtyard on the Utah Valley campus. Many things can be talked about in terms of Mr. Kirk, but we want to play some clips from Charlie Kirk in his own words to understand why, in the minds of some, he was a controversial figure, or in the minds of some, a courageous hero. Let's play the clip.
action pics. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You don't have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's spot to go be taken somewhat seriously.
MLK that does not warrant the reverence that he gets to in America. Should he
conservative
amongst
activist and commentator Charlie Kirk? That was a snippet from an interview around the topic of affirmative action and DEI and his thoughts on those possible connections. I believe we have another video that we are about to play now.
Lots of people in the 20th century that was complicated, and at the end of his life advocated for a more communistic view, and then actually got away from race blindness and actually got towards race obsession. I'm totally cool with that. He did some great things. He did some things that were not so great. In America, though, you must understand, he is looked to as the new founding father. The main contention that I have with the Civil Rights Act and the Civil Rights Movement and how it ended, not how it started, is that we refounded the country fundamentally. We cast aside our founding roots and our founding documents, the U.S. Constitution, and we decided to basically usher in the Civil Rights Act as a new anti-racist dogma, creed, and I find something fundamentally wrong with that. Our birth certificate as Americans is the Declaration, and the law of the land is tied with the U.S. Constitution. It was not the Civil Rights Act.
Okay, no, this is fine. This is great.
Basically,
so you think that poverty equals crime?
I think that it's highly correlated, and there's a lot of studies.
When he was still sorting out his own path, looking to channel his political inclinations into action after a rejection from West Point. Kirk was 18 when he launched a grassroots organization from an Illinois garage that would grow alongside the rise of President Donald Trump and fuel the Make America Great Again movement. Kirk would later admit that he had no money, no connections, and no idea what he was doing when he started Turning Point USA in 2012. But his rhetorical gifts for countering progressive ideas by inflaming cultural tensions resonated with college audiences during the Obama administration and Trump's first presidency. Let's play a clip of Mr. Kirk interfacing with collegiate students in open discourse, discussion, and debate.
This is where we disagree. What an insult to the working poor of this country.
So why do you think black people commit more crime,
Well, first
Charlie
of all,
Kirk?
so how? Let me ask you a question as my answer.
Go on.
What percentage of blacks have a father around when they're raised?
I'm not sure.
20%.
So that's why you
80% of
think it
blacks
is.
do not have a stable father around. It is the most predictable way to end up in prison, end up as a murderer or a criminal.
And why
It's
do
not a
you think that's
racism
a
problem.
problem?
It's not a white supremacy problem. It's a fact that black fathers impregnate women and they don't stay around with the women
And
that they have
why-
impregnated.
Charlie Kirk, do you think
Is-
that happens more in the black community compared to others?
It's threefold. Number one, we subsidize single motherhood. Number two, it's culture. It's accepted in the black community, and it
So
shouldn't
it's
be.
culture. Okay.
Don't take my
I
word
see.
for it. Read Thomas Sowell's own book on how black culture allows single motherhood to continue into a nanny state type practice. 75% of black youth are raised without a father in the home. 75%. Is that a bigger problem or not a bigger problem than whiteness, white privilege, or white supremacy?
As video clips of his early campus appearances spread online, it helped Mr. Kirk secure a steady stream of donations that transformed Turning Point into one of the country's largest political organizations, attracting young people to star-studded gatherings and making it a presence at high schools and colleges around the country. President Trump would remark on last week that no one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie. And so you just saw some of the clips on Mr. Kirk. And so the AP news outlet released, I think, a great article, and it begged the question: how did Charlie Kirk shape a generation of young people into a conservative force? And so we're going to open that discussion here on This Is America, and we want to invite our viewing audience to join us via chat. Please drop your questions or your comments into the chat as we talk about this. Sister Laquila, you saw some of these clips. What are your thoughts?
I don't have any thoughts. I'm more so just disgusted by the lack of empathy, the lack of morale, the lack of intellect, the lack of insights. Like, you don't speak for Black women because you don't know anything about Black women. You don't know anything about the circumstance of the situation. And let me be clear, Black people did very well with keeping their families together and keeping the men in the house. But see, what happened was this thing called slavery happened. Cause see, they didn't have a problem with the father and raising 16, 17 kids and managing off whatever, the master gave them. They kept their families together. But it was a thing called slavery that came, and the thing began to say the thing called slavery began to destroy the Black family as a whole, because they realized if we can weaken the Black man by getting him from his family and getting him locked up, we could be paid for him to be locked up. We can weaken the Black man, the Black children, because if there's an absence of a Black father, they're going to grow up weaker. They're going to grow up more susceptible to crime, more susceptible to psychological, mental issues and stuff like that, drug uses and stuff like that. And drug usage boosts pharmaceutical, and hospital bills and all that stuff like that. So it's a game that the white people have been playing for the longest. So let's not even get it twisted. We know what it was. It was a strategy from the beginning, from white people to separate and to destroy and penetrate the hearts and souls of Black people to the point that you got us currently thinking that being a single mom is okay. There's nowhere in the world where somebody say, "Oh, I want to have a baby and be a single mom." Not one Black woman ever came and given birth and decided, "Hey, I want to be a single mom." We don't go into this like this. But what happens is you have incarcerated our Black men. You have weakened our Black men to the core. You have destroyed their sense of manhood. Black men have been beat down to the point that they don't even know how to show up for us because of you white people. Let's be clear.
Yeah.
You tried to break them. You did break many of them, white people. Slavery broke many, many Black men's spirit way before crime could ever do so. So let's not get it twisted. If we want to know where the breaking and the breakage in the Black family and where the Black family began to be weakened, we better take a look back at history. You better go ask your grandma better ask her great grandma, to ask her great 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 grandma what really went down. Because if you want to know why we are in this state, it's because of your people.
Sure.
Y'all came and got us, remember? We
Yeah,
didn't even be invited to it.
I found it interesting that in his college stops, Mr. Kirk would often sit beneath a tent where he would often
Obama
sit,
and
sit
Sheila
beneath a
Dixon
tent
Lee and Brown
as
Jackson
he
were
was when he was shot. He was often behind his "Prove Me Wrong" table
Yeah.
where he held forth. He mainly drew young conservatives, many sporting "Make America Great Again" hats, who said they often felt unwelcome or out of place at school. And he had hundreds of Turning Point employees and volunteers there to recruit students into becoming GOP voters and activists themselves. I guess the question I have is not so much about Charlie Kirk
Let's speak
or
to his
his
character.
assertions about Black families or Black parenthoods. That figure that he threw out, about 27% about him saying, what did he say? 75%, 77% of Black children live in single parent homes. That is not true. As of the latest stat from the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency, 44.6% of Black children in the United States live in a two-parent home, which when you do the math means that is a little under 45, 50%, give or take, give or take. And so there are many different factors to that.
I think
Here's the question I have. Here's the question I have, Sister Quillen. I want you to keep your train of thought.
Okay.
Let's talk about Mr. Kirk's ability to engage and mobilize young people. Oftentimes, in the Black community or in our community, we're talking about a disconnect
Yes.
or a perceived disconnect between the younger generation and the political process. What do you think is the key for young African American, whether they are conservatives, Democrats, young African Americans, to be engaged truly in the political process and be heard, something akin to Mr. Kirk?
The key is to come from behind the desks, come from behind the microphones, come from behind the TV screen, put your boots on, lace your boots up, get in the streets, because that's where they at. You want them out of the streets, you got to meet them in the streets. And that's simply what it is. You cannot engage something that you are unwilling to meet. We can talk all over these kids' heads all you want, so you can tell them right from wrong and all of this stuff, and you should be voting and you should be there. But until this man had the ability to turn a light on in the youth that he, organized. And the problem with us is we have no interest in turning on the lights, because turning on the light requires us to get our hands dirty. And see, until we are willing to get down and ugly with this thing and to really get into the root of what's going on with our youth, we're going to keep losing our youth, and we're going to keep being looked at as the lesser or the lessee in the world. And honestly, there's no way other than to meet it in the streets. You
Sister
cannot
Laquila,
reach kids. I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, I don't mean to interrupt you, but Sister Laquila, the conversation must be getting good because we're about to be joined by our chairman, Chairman
Okay.
Rob Slater of the Culture Commission. He'll be joining
Awesome.
us shortly to
Okay.
give commentary and some feedback on this particular topic. And so I didn't want you to lose your train of thought.
Okay.
I just
No.
want to make sure that we were on standby for
Got
our
it.
chairman, who's going to be joining. Oh, well, here he is
Is
now.
it? Oh,
We're joined by Chairman
welcome.
Rob Slater of the
Hey,
Culture
Rob.
Commission Committee.
Hey,
Hey, Chairman Slater, how are you, brother?
hey, good evening, guys. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Good evening. I apologize. You guys are doing a great job. Such a great topic this evening. I know it's very sensitive. And as soon as you put up those first clips and those first rehashes, brother, I said, let me just get in and say a little bit something and get back out and
Yeah.
let you guys, handle
Yeah.
up. But I just felt it important to join you guys' conversation this evening, to remind all of us of a simple fact. To some degree and to some accord, what Charlie Kirk was saying from his perspective was not all the way wrong. And I want you guys to hear me out when I say that. Per the US Constitution, as it was written is in its original form, when it first started off as in we the people. When you go further down in the lines between line 29 and 32, it starts to define who that piece of paper qualifies as people.
As
And it
people.
breaks it down. Indigenous
Absolutely.
people was not qualified as people.
Nope.
Black men was 3/5 of a man.
Absolutely.
Not even women was qualified, counted
Nope.
as people.
People.
And so, with all things that were left, the only thing that was qualified as that document's original form was a white man, a land owning, a slave owning white man, male, not even a woman. That is not do with race. That is a basic fact that has happened in itself, in its foundation and core is
Absolutely.
racial. And so we as Americans have to come to grips and accountability to understand that the stars and stripes in which we held and put our hand over our chest to and pledge allegiance to, the Constitution, which we so often ever bring up in its original form, is in itself racist. It is a racist
Absolutely.
document. And so as we progress over time, yes, amendments have been added, so on and so forth. So this Make America Great Again and the Charlie Kirks and the Turning Point are referencing the point of the original document that has solidified this demographic, white male, landowner, white men, as the premium identified, the only humanized, recognized person in this land.
Now,
Everybody else
Chairman,
is less than
now,
that.
now,
So,
now, Chairman, I want you to keep your thought. We're also joined by excuse me, by
So,
our assistant chairman and field director, Brother Yusuf Benson.
Yeah.
Brother Yusuf, thank you, brother, for joining us. I know we must be doing good, because if you and Chairman are on, y'all don't know. We never see Brother Yusuf. We just feel him because he's always working. He's always in the field. He's like our David. So, Brother Yusuf, thank you so much for joining us, brother.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I just came from a teach-in, and you know, to the question, even what to what Rob was saying, when we understand things, like I was talking to the group tonight about just politics, and you know, the etymology of the word polis, meaning city, polites, citizens, politicos, of or relating to the citizens, right? So this is about families, this is about communities and what they think is best for themselves, and trying to foster a future for themselves, right? So you have to go into those you know, political, you know, theologies, and understand that, you know, in Plato, like, hey, that person politics might not be your politics, because
Right.
they're looking from their shoes, their perspective, right? And you might think, hey, they're a majority here and we've just been a minority. But in the global scale, right, they're a minority, a dwindling minority in that global scale.
mm-hmm.
They're not on those premium parts of land that have
Mm-hmm.
forestry and many medicines and things and it's always been like that. So it turned into a robber baron type of thing. So we live in what some of the experts call a kleptocracy. Right?
Mm-hmm.
About stealing. So
Talk, brother.
we didn't come from a culture where we had to steal. We came from like the land of plenty. Like they were comparing it even in the Bible, the land of milk and honey just flowing.
Yes, right.
Water, like the Nile, and most of, even when we talk about Greece and Rome, they had pictures and caricatures of almost as if grain and gold were falling out of those Egyptian pyramids, because that's what they heard about Egypt, right? So we a place where even back then they called it the calf eaters, when people were just barely finding out what they could eat.
Right.
And they even today import most of the things for them to survive. Import. Right. So
Literally,
it's a global thing that became a local thing to us. And yeah, we've been disparaged. Yeah, it's been a whole concerted effort, right? So that person's politics, it can't be your politics, right? We meet on some ground when we talk about family.
But Yusuf, if I may, and I want to yield, and I'm gonna let you guys have. I want to close on this here. I also want everybody to know that the misinformation has been around for years. It is not a fact that the majority of those that's on a welfare state, nanny, whatever the hell that this young man has said, it's a false lie. The majority of those that are on benefits is white people.
Period.
DEI was created for the white woman. The majority of these things was for the white populace, and for those less fortunate as a whole. And so we don't accept this narrative that every household doesn't have a father, every black household, every black man is in prison, so on and so forth, outside of the systemic change that you have put upon us. And so there's just a lot of history that's been trying to be whitewashed, even to this day. They tell us that, left leaning or black leaning or Black Lives Matter. Every time you say Black Lives Matter, it's all lives matter, unless it's called Blue Lives Matter. So we got to stop being watered down and so don't take what you hear, investigate and research our own. And one thing about Turning Point, we are turning. We at a point of turning, just not what the hell they think we're going. So I yield. Great job. You guys got it. And I'll stay tuned from afar. I appreciate it. Yusuf, I'll talk to you later, my man. Thank you guys. Great job.
Thank you for joining. Yeah, so
well, that's like Chairman. He's just gonna drop the mic and get off before I can even ask for a follow-up question.
No, because just like you were saying, don't try to make it look like you was doing us a favor. Y'all would never do us a favor. Everything y'all created,
Brother Yusuf came, educated us, laced us up.
Hey,
Chairman dropped the
mic. They weren't doing it for us. They had like Medicaid. Medicaid wasn't never for us.
They have
Food stamp was never for us.
Right. have to do some things because they learned throughout history that, hey, if we don't do anything, it's going to spill over.
Absolutely.
We're going to have issues. So
brother Yusef, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Sister Laquila and I were talking about this before the show. Most Black folks didn't even know who Charlie Kirk was before he was assassinated.
Nope.
I'm pretty sure you did because you're in the, you know, yeah,
MLK,
you're in that
warrant the reverence that he gets treated with in America.
Chairman knew about him because he, you know, we know about him because we operate. But most Black folk had never even heard of Charlie Kirk.
Nope.
And the reason that is significant to me is because how can a guy who has impacted your life to the degree he has, and you've never heard of him, and he's in the open expressing his views culturally, politically, and everything else. And so my question is, you know, you have people who are fighting this. You have people who are fighting this fight about us being woke, but are we really woke? Are we sleep now?
Remember, sleepwalking. That's what's
that's one of the quotes I always say, right? I say we're not, you know, certainly like they're not woke, right? They're in a different version of sleep. Like they woke up out of one thing, but they're actually in another form of sleep. And the problem is like it's gotten complicated. If we refuse to be complicated, if we refuse to learn the few things that we need to, you know, we need to really iron out and understand, then yeah, we're gonna have these problems, right? We're gonna have these, because what happens is if you never turn on AM radio, they can operate within that silo,
literally
with their crowd, right?
Build up.
You're right.
People
Wired up. And I mean, they pump it. And if you don't work, and it's a reason, like when you talk about the Hispanic disenfranchisement and them kind of, it was normally those that were plant workers, manufacturing, because they worked around, right, the middle class, blue collar, white worker. And normally gonna have the TV and the radio on AM radio, on Fox News. And when they're operating in this silo, right, all of their seeing, so it starts to make sense a little bit. And it's accepted, and they want to be accepted. When you want to be accepted, you kind of accept what comes with it. It works, right? As long as it's not too bad, right? And you can kind of see yourself as, I'm not that guy.
I'm not that one. So but I kind of I can relate to this one. I'm more like
lighter,
this where
I'm lighter, I'm closer to,
I'm more
they had some, that was some of the same stuff that we were guilty of, and we fell kind of victim to too. So you had people we had people trying to pass and things of that, right? Because it was so hard. Like we were
bleaching skin, want to be white, blonde hair, blue eyes, all that.
Yeah.
Trying to do everything you can to get away from who you really are, and not knowing.
And that's why we didn't know. People weren't just like, you know, responsibly checking the other channel, because you have a gut reflex. You turn on this stuff, and I'm talking about it. I mean, I remember back even when
gut reflex.
Literally,
he's watered in comparison to these new people.
Right.
I've been listening to AM.
Oh, you
for so long.
Know what's going on. You won't believe what they're doing down there. And I mean, every other second like that, and you like, and they didn't have a problem talking about Chicago and how many guys doing the police report thing, like, oh, a bunch of shootings tonight, and they were literally making light of the plight at that time.
I definitely want to chime in because Yusef is on fire.
Y'all haven't.
No, he's on it. He's on it tonight.
Y'all haven't shown real care or anything when it comes to us. So why is there an expectation when we're? Why is there an expectation of some quid pro quo that wasn't there, right? So give us a disenfranchised. One thing I want to say, this is my main thing, and the reason why I came on is when it comes to debate or whatever we're going through, we got to know what our elders knew and understand, and send the call out that they understood we got to be 3 times as good.
Absolutely.
Right. Right on.
Absolutely.
Right
You ain't
on.
go twice,
Absolutely.
catch up,
Right on, brother.
or be at parity. They said 3 times good and surpass. When it comes to
Really.
debate or anything like that, I've seen I forgot what the other little guy's name is, demolishing,
Mm.
right? But
Right.
sometimes that isn't even the job either.
Right.
There has to be many of us that are willing, because in a debate, if you understand debate rules, if you argue a point and I just prove that point wrong,
Mm-hmm.
and score a point, so you actually win.
Right.
So I should never argue against your point. I should always make another better point.
Right.
I score a point,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
I can eventually win like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Just keep on. Oh, it's like this. You think he doesn't? You think any of them don't know?
It's a strategy. It's
So
a
they
strategy.
do know. They're talking. They're not even talking to you. So you have a lot of people right now trying to tell them the truth, and they're like, "We're not even talking to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We talking
Right.
and ate what we said, and gone
Right.
on with their day, and ain't
And
nothing you saying." So if you
right.
want to beat us, you need to understand debate rules. You need to make your points in your silos
Mm-hmm.
and win.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Brother Yusuf, you have brother, you have blessed us tonight.
Yes. Thank you.
I'm hippopotamus happy, brother, that both
Yeah.
you and Chairman were on.
Yeah.
I
For
have
sure.
so many questions. We have so many questions we want to ask you, but we're running over time.
I know, right?
Um, final words. We're down to about 30 seconds apiece, but final words from, of course, sisters first, Sister Laquila, and then Brother Yusef, and then we'll have final salutation, not salutation, but final send offs from me.
Okay. My final words is honestly, it's time. It's time. If there has never been another time for Black people to show unity, to show up for us, to unite together, to show them that we are a force when we are together, we have got to show up. The time is now. The time is now. I don't care how you got to get active. I don't care what you got to do to be active, but I need you to get active. We need you to get active because the state of our future, the future for our children is diminishing before our eyes. And we're scrolling social media and watching YouTubes and on TikTok dancing. And these people that back here strategizing on how to destroy the next generation of Black youth, Black children. It is time for Black people to wake up. Put them phones down, put them boots on, and get in the streets. It's time.
Brother Yusuf.
I was looking because I had pulled up some scripture, right? And see, and it goes to what I was saying even about debate, because you get pulled into, let's try this on them, this narrative, and they've won many times with narratives.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have to understand that, we create our narrative, we create our story.
Absolutely.
And we merge ahead with what we want for ourselves and our family, irregardless of where people are. But when we get caught up in someone else's game, and they've been trying to figure out, like they've been feeling around in the dark trying to figure out what can set them off, or what can we do to get them trapped in our game, or some kind of way we got to justify what we want to try to do.
Absolutely.
We've succeeded at all times through worser times, through
absolutely
worser people, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
Weren't doing it from afar or from a tweet or or anything like that. And our elders fought without AC in their cars. I tell somebody, a coworker, you say, "Four on the floor," right? No radio, none of that, right? And walk in most places, as your grandparents will tell you.
Yeah.
we have to act like all of that's in our DNA.
It is.
Right on.
Not only the king and the queen, the first king that ever exists, the people that created writing and language, and it don't matter how we got swept up in whoever's narrative, we still rose, right? We still became who we became, and we're not done with that.
Right.
And this is an inconvenience because another person feels like our politics isn't their politics.
Mm.
They feel like they're dwindling, losing power, and want to try to snatch it back. We're on growth, building, scaling, global, like everything, so much to look forward to. That wouldn't you be jealous if you weren't those people?
Right.
Wouldn't you be mad as hell? What about us, right? So I want us just to take a deep breath, gather ourselves, understand the assignment like our forefathers did. 3 times is good.
Mm-hmm.
And let's get to business like
Let's get to work.
said.
Let's go.
Get out there because they can't.
Go. Let's get active.
What sport you want to play?
Let's get active because you can't beat us at none. Let's get active.
What debate? What
What you want? Let's go.
Peace and blessings.
Well, we want to thank our field general and co-chairman Brother Yusuf Benson for joining us, as well as our chairman Rob Slater. We'd like to thank the production team for the Culture Network. Thank you all for joining This is America, which is powered by the Culture Network. We invite you to like, join, and share not just this broadcast, but all of the broadcasts that are on the Culture Network. Thank you for turning into the Culture Network's This is America, which is hosted by Sister Laquila Chantel, and I am Minister Chris Johnson. I want to leave you with a quote that comes from the autobiography of Malcolm X. It says that mankind's history has proven from one era to another that the true criterion of leadership is spiritual. That's Malcolm X, and it comes from the autobiography of Malcolm X. We heard Brother Yusuf reference scripture and a higher power. And so it's in that source of power that we will ultimately find the sustenance that we need. Our prayer for you is that God will continue to bless you and keep you on tonight is my prayer. Good night and good luck.
This is America.